Morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, where I read to you headlines from my news feed and give you my thoughts on them. My thoughts might be based on me being an expert on the subject, or they might be based on me just having read the headline or someplace in between. But whatever it is, it's not the news. It's just my thoughts on the news. That's why it's called Not News. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Let us proceed. Thousands leave their houses as Mount Agung volcano erupts. Texas woman with F Trump sticker adds local sheriff's name to truck display after her arrest. So I guess she had the bumper sticker that said, you know, F Trump, have sex with Trump or whatever, and the person arrested her, so she added his name to made a bumper sticker with his name, put it on her. I guess she wasn't intimidated. ProPublica, Facebook advertisers can still discriminate by race. UPS workers claim holiday disaster looms as they threaten to strike. No better time than now to strike. I'm all for the workers. I don't celebrate Christmas anyway. I ain't got shit to send to nobody, and it ain't gonna affect me. But even if it was, I'd be here for the workers. Uber hid data breach that exposed information for 57 million users. Uber, it seemed like they can't do right for doing wrong, right? China is flying bombers and spy planes near Japan and telling Japan to not make a fuss about it. China is acting out and like, just be quiet, Japan, don't complain. The sugar industry has been quietly funding one of the biggest misconceptions in modern nutrition. Funding. Like they've been paying money to perpetuate something that's not true. Oxford College considers mandatory classes on racism, cultural appropriation for students. That's kind of interesting. Oxford College, that's in England, right? First observed interstellar object is a speedy cigar-shaped asteroid. Argentina missing submarine. Concern grows over lack of oxygen. Now, I told y'all yesterday that as we watched the story unfold, that an explosion actually happened on the day. Two separate countries detected an explosion when they were monitoring the water at the same day, around the same time, around the same space that the submarine went missing. So I don't know what happened, but in Hollywood, few female stunt performers are allowed to drive. Why, I ask, why? You know what I also want to know? This person who's walking by, I think this person is always walking in the streets. Like, I don't know why they don't walk on the sidewalk. We do have sidewalks here. When I lived in Mississippi, we didn't have sidewalks in a lot of places. So it was kind of, you know, and there's no snow on the sidewalk. So I don't know. Additional remains of United States soldier Johnson found in Niger. So this is the woman who the casket, her husband's remains came back. Her husband's remains came back in a closed casket. She was not allowed to see him. She like, well, I don't even know who or what, if anything, is in there. And they're like, oh, you're hysterical. And now more remains of this man, God rest his soul, have come back. The black soldier who, you know, got separated from the other white soldiers when the rescue happened. And I'm kind of like, it's kind of like, I'm surprised, one, because I'm like, if it was me and I was doing and I was an evildoer, I would just think that an evildoer would not say anything about the remains coming back. Just shut up. You done sent the woman the casket, told her that was her husband. Now shut up. I don't know how, or you know what caused this to come out. It's getting dark, but it's not that dark outside. Yeah, you know, I used to be able to tape almost till 7 and it's like 4:30. I guess that's daylight savings time. FBI Justice Department to investigate St. Louis area police. Dark streaks on Mars may not be caused by flowing water. Uh-oh, can't go to Mars, y'all. U.S. military members had improper contact with foreign women, I think in Asia. Lebanese Prime Minister Saeed Hariri back in Beirut after shock resignation. Protests erupt outside Bed-Stuy Cafe for alleged racist incident. 25% of HBCU's student body is non-black. HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. When I first started hearing them referred to instead of as black colleges as HBCUs historically, I'm like, well, that already sounds like it's something right there. They're saying historically, in the past, they have been black. But now, so is this the end of majority black schools? I thought that's why they started calling them HBCUs. 28 pie charts show female representation in food in terms of chefs and leadership in the food industry. I think is what that's about. It's coming off of Eater. Russell Simmons tells Terry Crews to give agent a pass in sexual assault allegations before his own come to light. But I wonder if his perception of things is based on how he deals with people. American Petroleum Institute, or has dealt with people. American Petroleum Institute dismisses study linking oil gas emissions to disproportionate health risk for black Americans. So they're like, the study showed that. We dismiss it. It's not good for business. We'll ignore that one. DJI threatens legal action after researcher reports bug. DJI, I don't remember what that is. Ex-Tulsa officer gets 15 years in prison for killing daughter's black boyfriend. I was surprised to see that. I heard about the story. His daughter had and he killed the man, the child, the young man, and said he thought he was dangerous. Imprisoned man says civil rights violated when dreadlocks cut. It's funny how some people try to break your spirit. It's all different kinds of ways they try to break your spirit and break your connection with God. But God operates through a lot of different ways, you know. So, you know, you can try to do your evil all you want. But we send love and power and peace and just God communication and information and strength in all different ways. I wrote a book on workplace harassment. Here's what I learned from interviewing more than 50 women. Vandalism or art? BLM Sacramento calls for return of unauthorized mural on historic theater. They had a mural with the faces of people that had been killed, and I guess somebody is like, this is unauthorized, and they painted it over. And the Black Lives Matter people are like, oh, that is art. Put it back up. U.S. Air Force pilot killed in Texas plane crash. Is this South Korea? North Korean defector was reportedly unsure of location, wanted Korean music. Broadway box office dips. Parisian Woman, 1 million, Once on This Island revival nears SRO. What's SRO? Mature white crocodile spotted in Australian river. White is an unusual color for animals in nature. Pokemon Go players catch 500 million Pokemon in under 2 days. I've never played Pokemon. But for a minute, that was like all the rage, all the story. Egypt singer held for inciting debauchery in music video. New Zealand minister orders probe into impossible maths exam. I can't remember what that was about. Nigeria's suicide bombing kills 50 in Adamawa state. Oh, rest in peace. It'd be a lot of killings in the world. That's what I've been noticing since I've been doing notes on the news. Aston Martin just replaced the most successful model in company history with a car straight out of a Bond movie. U.S. arrests ex-Hong Kong and Senegal officials in bribery case. That's that China-Africa connection again. Oh, here's a little light. Let's put a little. It's still dark, right? 5 places in America where being a parent won't leave you broke. 5 places in America where being a parent won't leave you broke. And 5 where it might. North Korea defector wakes after being shot crossing the DMZ, demilitarized zone. Pixar wins again with Coco, which is beautifully told and culturally conscious. U.S. State Department officials accuse Rex Tillerson of violating U.S. law on child soldiers. Argentina Navy missing sub had call to report breakdown. Advertisers can target you psychologically based on a single Facebook like, study finds. New York City secret subway line with antique cars is going back into service. And here's what it's like to ride it. Did I read this one? Japanese children are the healthiest in the world. Here are 7 principles to borrow from them. London buses to be powered by coffee grounds. When I would get coffee grounds to put in my garden, at first I was just going to the regular coffee store. Then I realized their coffee probably isn't organic, so I started getting it from the health food store. But anyway, to power cars would be a good use of them, I guess. India BJP minister criticized for peeing in public. They have a whole campaign going on in India, or part of India, where people, they don't want you to pee in public. They supposed to have toilets for you to use. And this guy, he said he couldn't find a toilet. Some people are like, it's hypocritical because you're telling us to use the toilet and you didn't use the toilet. You take for granted public restrooms. Zimbabwe's Mugabe has passed the deadline for leaving office, and now he must be impeached. That's old news. The fate of the controversial Keystone Pipestone will be decided by Nebraska. Florida plane highway crash caught on dash cams. Uigamar inmates dig their way out of Thai jail, like they dug their way out. Do HBCUs still have a major role to play in educating the black community? I think so, probably, because I think most black doctors, overwhelming percentage of them come through HBCUs for undergrad. There's one undergraduate school that is a big producer of black doctors, and then one graduate school, if I'm not mistaken. But I would imagine that holds true in other areas as well. The Beijing connection. Why do so many U.S. women die giving birth? And the numbers are going up. Okinawa incident sparks U.S. troops alcohol ban in Japan. Most mass killers are men who also attack their families. I think I'm looping back. 9 ways millennials are approaching marriage differently from their parents. Mexican authorities found another bazooka likely used to hurl drugs over the border. Earl Hyman dies. I don't know if we talked about this. Veteran Broadway actor, Cosby TV dad, was 91. Chile election. Conservative Sebastian Pinera takes lead. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I know I loop back to this one. So that's what I got. It's another edition of Notes on the News. I'm caught up with, I haven't looked at my news today, but I am going to watch This Is Us. So watch for This Is Us recording review tomorrow. And then I'm going to start watching Real Housewives. I think that's my plan. And I got them. Yeah, I think that's my plan. I think I've done everything else that I had to do. I'm Angela. The channel is Be Fabulous You. Today is the best day ever, or it's the best night ever, or the best afternoon ever. You are the greatest. You're number one. You're the number one you. So be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Red light till dawn. Bye.